Come on, go, guys, go. Careful, careful. Thank God Hey, Jack. We have here these Jumaane Williams, Council Member Jumaane Williams, just came over the Brooklyn Bridge with a bit of a rally here. I want to just thank Jumaane for using one of my bikes. Thanks for using our bikes. And thank you for doing this. I really appreciate this. Look at this. Good to see you, Griff. Good to see you, Lori. So these guys just rode from Brooklyn. And see, even they're trying to figure out where the hell the bike lane is over here. I think we're gonna go into One Police Plaza. Look at the media, it's all nuts over here. Let's see if they just go in front of traffic. Here we go. Whoa. He's on our bikes. He's on our bike. They don't know where they're going. I love it. I love it. Let's see where Jumaane's gonna go here. I think he's gonna go. I think you got to see the picture I got of them blocking the bridge. Good to see a Blondie. Good to see a Winky Whispers. Good to see a Coney Island Jim. I know tons of media. Oh, we're gonna follow the media here. Now I'm really happy I don't have an afternoon tour. I could follow these guys. So these guys are riding from. There was a horrible accident a couple of days ago where a car got T-boned and pretty much took out a cyclist and killed them. So they just did a special memorial ride for these guys. Good to see you, Gail. Good to see you, Cecilia. Good to see you, Chrissy.
Yeah, that was fun. Up here?
Ah, he's on our bikes. I love it. I think we're gonna go over here. I will, Susie, man. Good to see you. I just got done with a tour, Griff. And I wasn't with these guys because I was doing my own tour over the Brooklyn Bridge. Which was really funny coming off the bridge and seeing all that media. Here's all the media. All right, guys. Carlos. Man, shut up. Yes, he's on our bikes.
I believe it now. He's on a bike.
All right, we're about to do the press conference.
Hopefully you guys could be able to hear this. Maybe not with the drilling. So we're here inside the very loud municipal building right now. Yeah, bikes and jackhammers, can't go wrong with that, right? Yeah, I don't think they were booking on having the jackhammers here.
10 deaths in all of 2019. Addressing this emergency is going to require drivers and cyclists to work together in partnership. And it's not that all drivers are reckless, but that a split-second mistake can become catastrophic when driving in a vehicle. Last year in New York City, car drivers caused more than 225,000 crashes, 660 crashes per day, injured more than 60,000 people. Deaths of cyclists mentioned was 10 cyclists, that was 2018. 120 death claims in the 96 motorists. And here today to highlight the need for partnership and someone who's a driver is going to understand the cyclist experience. Now listen, I look at the problem. I always try to look at a position of privilege, pedestrian. And I'm speaking as a driver. And I've had the driver experience, I've had the pedestrian experience, but I've never had a cyclist. And I figured it was important to try to get that so I can know exactly what I'm talking about. The fact of the matter is, on the road, the driver behind the multi-ton metal is the most privileged position on the road. The pedestrian is the least privileged. And up from there is a cyclist. And we just got to treat it that way. And we have to have a discussion and understanding where our privilege lies and whatever problem we are talking about. And as a driver, I get the frustration. I'm going to be honest, sometimes you see cyclists going in and out, but a minor inconvenience is different than 19 cyclists who are dying. And when people are dying, we all have to get together and have a discussion. So I will continue to encourage advocacy groups to make sure cyclists are doing their part, but we have to do our part first. The fact of the matter is, drivers coming from the privileged position, we oftentimes think the only people who should be on the road are other car drivers. Now this kind of happens every time there's a switch in transportation, because human beings do not like change. But we have come to a point where we have to figure out how everyone shares the road in a way that makes everyone safe. And so I know people feel annoyances, but there's a group of people who are more prone to death that we now have to do something about. And as public advocate, I want to make sure we're lifting up everyone's experience. And I got to tell you, when I decided to do this, I was actually a little nervous, more nervous than I thought. And that was because 19 cyclists have died. It can be a scary thing. Over here, we saw bike lanes that were supposed to be paved that weren't paved. We saw people blocking the bike lane. We saw cars really not paying attention to the cyclists. So we have to understand everyone's experiences, and we got to treat it like the British that is. We now have an epidemic of people dying from streets. So people who drive. Also, I just want to make sure when we're having this discussion, we're not necessarily demonizing communities. We want all communities to join this conversation. There are communities who just quite don't have the mass transit system that they should have and are dependent on cars. And we have to have that discussion, honoring them as well. But to be honest, they're not the ones dying, but they're also not the ones getting injured. So we have to have a discussion based on the community. There are some common sense things that we can do. I want to continue as I do, lifting up the voices of people who are perishing on our streets, simply trying to get back and forth. There are common sense things that we can do to help better protect cyclists, like those with me today, and the 200,000 people who ride every day. We can build more protected bike lanes, not just regular bike lanes, but better bike lanes. We have gotten to a point where bicycles are sometimes the sole means of transportation for people in the city. We've gotten to a point where we are encouraging people to ride bicycles. We're putting money in getting people to ride bicycles, allowing companies to come in. We can't do that without building the infrastructure. It is unfair to encourage all of this bicycle riding without building the infrastructure. It will take a change. It will take everyone coming to the table, but we're at the point where we're back to that. I want everyone to support the DOT. it should trigger an analysis of that intersection immediately to figure out what is happening, how can we make it better so that this isn't another fatality. But we should continue to establish the DOT protocol to automatically design streets after there's three things that we can do right now and that I want to support. And I'm glad that so many people decided to join us. We're going to hear from a few of them. The first one, Transportation Alternatives, Irvin Figueroa. So I'm sorry, Marco.
Thank you, Public Access. My name is Marco Connor. I am the Deputy Director of Transportation Alternatives, and on behalf of everyone here today, I really want to thank the Public Advocate, Marty Williams, for leading today's ride all the way from Brooklyn to Manhattan, where we are now. And as everyone here today feels very deeply, this year has been a particularly harrowing year for cycling in New York City. 19 people dead compared to 10 all of last year. But it's not just this year. Since 2014, more than 100 cyclists have died on city streets in New York City. And this is a time where more and more New Yorkers are waking up to this stark reality on our streets. But it is also a time where more New Yorkers are realizing that our streets do not have to be like this. This death and destruction on our streets does not have to occur. And Public Advocate Marty Williams said it powerfully last year when he was a candidate for Public Advocate and a candidate forum, and he said that we cannot allow the windshield perspective of someone behind a multi-ton truck or car to dictate policy for safety on our streets, and particularly not when it comes to the safety of people walking and biking on city streets. And that is so very true. But that windshield perspective of giving outside space, outside privilege to multi-ton cars and trucks, that is the reason why we have the death and destructions on our streets today. And those are decades of policies in the making that have brought us to where we are today. And it does not have to be that way. There is plenty of space on the streets to go around. We have more than 3 million free parking spaces for cars in New York City. Even though 8 out of 10 New Yorkers commute by transit, walking, or biking, we are dedicating more than 75% of our street space to either moving cars or to storing them. And cars, by the way, sit idle 95% of the time. And I'm highlighting this because we are going to have to come face to face with the reality that we have to reclaim part of the street, part of that 75% that is allocated towards the reason why we have people dying on our streets. So I want to thank the Public Advocate, I want to thank Councilman Menchaca and so many other champions for now leading this change that we need to see, and particularly the Public Advocate for bringing his voice to this. So the Public Advocate outlined many things that need to happen. First and foremost, we need to have a citywide connected network of protected bike lanes in New York City. That is number one. We need to fix our dangerous intersections, which is where New Yorkers are being killed walking and biking more than any other place. And there's a host of other measures that we need to take. And I'm happy that we are standing with the Public Advocate today, and I'm looking forward to working with him. We are all looking forward to working with him in the days, in the years ahead to address this inequitable, this abuse of our city streets. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Mark O'Connor, Transportation Alternatives Deputy Director, MARCO,
We've been joined by people like this. We'll hear from one of them. I do want to thank District Leaders Nick Rizzo and Council Leader for joining us today. And we're going to hear from an avid biker, a man who's pushed a whole bunch of these bills, piece of legislation already, Councilman McCullough.
Buenos dias, everyone. My name is Carlos Menchaca, City Councilor from Brooklyn, and I just want to say thank you to all those who rode our bikes today, and also Fred Knight from Brooklyn as well. here because of bicycle deaths that are rising in our city, like they haven't in a long time. What I'm here to do is just send a very clear message about myself as a cyclist. The work that we have to do is going to require us to be a lot more clear as elected officials. And I'm hoping that the New York City residents can all come together and push us to do the work that we need to do. This is not easy for me to do. People that are dying in our cities and our neighborhoods are people who are just trying to get to work, or who are using bicycles to get to work. This is not easy for us to do because the deaths that are happening because of inaction. And so we're calling on the mayor to refocus his energy on the city of New York. We're asking the Department of Transportation to do more. And I'm so proud that the Fourth Avenue now has a protected bike lane, which will come into completion by the end of the year. And that has happened because of the folks behind us, pushing us to do that kind of work. But it's not going to be enough. We need to break the parkway. And that's going to require a very courageous moment. But we say no to communities like on 14th Street in Manhattan who think that this is not a good idea to bring priority to pedestrians and bicycles. These communities are organizing against us. But we need to now organize, not just in a battle of ideology, because ideology right now is what's killing us. But policy that's around keeping our streets safer, protected bike lanes, and infrastructure that has a master plan. And Corey Johnson, our speaker, has a good plan that we're all behind. We know what we need to do. We just need to have the courage to do it. The last thing I want to say is the kind of grief that I'm experiencing right now, sadly, is turning into rage. I am so angry right now about what's happening in our city. And I'm not sure everybody in the city actually feels what we're feeling right now. And so I'm hoping that we can get together and organize and shut the city down. Every time a cyclist dies, I want the whole city to feel it. This is the kind of work that we need to do as a community, to organize so that everyone feels it so we can get this stuff done. You with me? Es fácil darse por vencido por la falta de acción parte del alcalde de la ciudad. Pero en esos momentos necesitamos recordar nuestra fuerza como una comunidad unida y las batallas locales que estamos ganando. En mi distrito, por ejemplo, anuncié que la semana pasada la zona de protegido. Eso es algo que logramos como una comunidad. Es algo de municipal conectado con las activistas que pedimos por calles seguras. Es por eso que siempre debemos unirnos en días como hoy. Para que estamos nosotros tenemos que unirnos para pedir que la ciudad de Cali toque la seguridad de los habitantes.
Next we have Jane Harper, Families on Safer Streets.
A lot louder.
Okay. Could barely hear these guys, so let's get out of here. So happy Jumaane Williams is using our bikes. All right, guys. Who's the next? Sorry, I couldn't say hello to everyone. I was watching the press conference. Good to see an 80s music fan. Winky, hello. They picked like the worst spot to do this. They should have stayed on the bridge. They should have stayed on the bridge. All right. Time for me to go home. Good to see you guys. Welcome. Spoke to the train. So, yes, the 19th cyclist died last week. And so let me say this. For the people who always use the argument, well, I see a cyclist misbehaving all the time. Well, my counteraction to that argument is, who's doing all the killing? It's not the cyclists. It's bad road design like this. Here you have a van parked in a two-way bike lane. And you see here you have a family that needs to somehow get around this before they get on the bridge. And especially the last accident, which was horrible. The last accident, which happened the other day, basically a car got T-boned. Somebody ran a red light. The car got T-boned, and then the T-boned car went flying into the cyclist who was patiently waiting for the red lights. As he was waiting for the red lights in the part of the road where he's supposed to be. So when people always put out that argument, well, I saw a cyclist do X, Y, or Z, you're failing. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. And the point is this: yes, you have a lot of bad drivers who absolutely do not care about anyone else on the road, pedestrians included. And again, who is doing the killing? It's not cyclists. It's motorists and truck drivers. So I am over the argument, well, I saw a cyclist do this, because cyclists are not killing anyone. Even though, yes, last week a pedestrian was killed by a cyclist. And I'll admit, like everything in the world, we all know this. There are a lot of bad, inconsiderate cyclists out there too. But you have one death this year compared to 19. And since 2014, he said 144 cyclists have been killed here on the streets of New York City. Double parking, it's not part of a culture. It's just being inconsiderate to other people who need to use the road. And I see it all the time. What happened 2 days ago is probably my nightmare scenario. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Susie May. I know up there in Vermont and a lot of rural places, you have areas where you'll have signs that say share the road. And drivers that are inconsiderate or who don't see other road users as valid road users create very dangerous situations. So cyclists across this whole country are being maimed and killed every day. So, but if somebody was after you with a weapon, well, if a 3-ton vehicle, if that's not a weapon enough for you, if that's not a weapon enough, and if you think parking is more important than pedestrian and cyclists' lives, then you're being very inconsiderate and very selfish. And I think this is the problem: is we have a culture that puts the car first here in the United States, when it should be the opposite. Pedestrians should be paramount. And then further down the pyramid, you have cyclists and people on scooters and all that stuff. But it's not fun having to try to get, like on today's bicycle tour, there was a whole block of people parked in a separated bike lane. And when you remind the driver that they're parked in the bike lane, they get so upset. Even though they're in the wrong. So we need to end, and I know a lot of you guys don't understand this, but the car culture needs to end here in New York City. We need to start putting people first. And what's crazy is that guy who ran a red light 2 days ago, he is still not charged. He is not charged. Now, mind you, he was speeding and he ran a red light. How is he not charged? So And actually, out of the 19 deaths, I think one person got charged with like a ticket. They got like a $30 ticket. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the new millennium. We have to get with it. We have to get with places like Copenhagen and the Netherlands and Germany. And we need to prioritize humans instead of automobiles, because automobiles have had it too easy for far too long. And because they've had it so easy for far too long, they deem the roadway as their own, and they don't share the road. It's time to share the road. It's time to have people let everyone have a place on the road to travel. It's very scary, yeah. Susie May, it's very scary. Now, believe me, I wanted to share the video of 19 that is just here in the city alone. Yeah, just here in the city, not counting the whole state. I wanted to share the video on Twitter, the cyclist who passed away the other day, but it's so graphic that I refuse to share it. And the other thing is, I don't want to have somebody in the reply in the comments below saying, well, I saw a cyclist do this or that or the other. It's not about what you've seen cyclists doing in the past. This is not what we're talking about. Like, the media always blames the victim. So you have people who blamed, even though they saw the video, they blamed the cyclist, even though he was stopped at a red light in the part of the road where he's supposed to be. Okay, this is why we have to end this. We have to end this entitlement that drivers have. Drivers have to begin to share the road. And if we take away a parking spot or two, then so be it. When you take away a parking spot or two, there's a thing called daylighting intersections. And when you daylight an intersection, you have the pedestrian and the motorist has a more field of view, unobstructed field of view, to make sure the intersection is safe to cross. We need more of that. We need more separated, protected bike lanes. We need a network. So good to see you, Right Duty Ron. We just came up from, they were just having a press conference at the municipal building. Jumaane Williams just rode over the Brooklyn Bridge with a bunch of people. And exactly, yes. Well, that's the thing, Duty Ron, it's like, I'll give you an example. In Bay Ridge, they wanted to install a school bus loading zone, right? Now, people are they have such a hard-on for parking spaces, free on-the-street parking spaces, that almost 700 people signed a petition to save 4 parking spots. 4 parking spots. All right? Listen, folks, the age of the car culture, especially here in the cities, it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. And we need to create cities and create environments here in the city which welcome all road users, pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists. And unfortunately for motorists, that means you gotta slow down. You gotta slow down. If you're going somewhere, you gotta have a spot where you park. In Japan, in Tokyo, Japan.
W trains are
Okay. Exactly. Yes. No, cars shouldn't be in Manhattan below 60th Street.
because of traffic placement.
But
Between 57th Street, 7th and Morris Boulevard.
What's happening is that the Netherlands had these growing pains when they were beginning to make their streets useful for all types of people. Copenhagen had these issues too, but eventually they came out, and now they have amazing cities. It's amazing how they get around, and when you talk about elderly people riding bikes, I see a lot of elderly folks on e-bikes all the time, and they're zipping around. But what we need to do is create an environment for all road users, not just motorists. Yeah, more people would visit, more people. Good to see you, Meg. More people would visit, more people would, it'd be safer, be quieter, but whatever. Yeah, it would be safe. It would be safe. But like Duty Run, like today, on my tour today, I had people parked in a separated bike lane. And when you tell them that, hey, you're parked in the bike lane, they get so upset. I love it how upset drivers get. You're parked, mind you know you're doing wrong. You're parked in a place where you're not supposed to be. This is the entitlement that has been festering over decades here in New York City. And unfortunately, it has to end. It has to end. We have to teach people to be more considerate, because everyone's lives matter in this situation. Everyone's lives matter. So, life is more about parking. All right, folks? Life is more about, there's more to life than parking. Do you guys still see me? I think you guys still see me. I'm on Wi-Fi all of a sudden. I'm on the Wi-Fi. All right. Well, always on YouTube, the video is great. New York City, listen, New York City, when people say that the streets were designed for cars in New York City, they weren't. New York City is older than the car, damn it. When they built the Brooklyn Bridge, automobile wasn't invented yet. There's a reason why the streets are so narrow in Lower Manhattan. It's because it was a walking city. It was a walking town. That's how you got around. And that's how the majority of New Yorkers get around. Every weekday, 3.5 million people ride the subway to work. Every weekday, 77,000 people ride the Staten Island Ferry. Every weekday, 22,000 people ride the various ferries coming in from the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and of course, New Jersey. We have to begin to make the road, create safer situations for people. Oh yeah, you know what, Griff? It's the best way to get around. It's the best way to get around. Where is it? Where's my? Yep, every day around 8 million people use the subway. 3.5 million in the morning, 3.5 million in the afternoon, and we're not even counting the fine random stuff. Here's my office. Here's my office. Here's my office. Now, you don't need a car. Always put yourself in other people's shoes. Always try to see other people's opinions and other people's situations. Do me a favor. Life is more about parking. Life is more about parking. There's much more to life than parking. The polar ice caps are melting. You know, I mean, for God's sake, the environment is changing drastically. And we need to put things into perspective, because you know what? It's getting too late. The climate is going to change, and I think we're already past a tipping point. But yeah, it was really cool seeing Councilmember Jumaane Williams come over the Brooklyn Bridge and have a couple of funny Instagrams I'm going to be posting up in a little bit. Now I'm ready to go home. I have the afternoon off. It's going to rain, so I'm probably going to go on Twitch later on today, and we're going to do some radio. And oh my God, Duty Ron just bought me a beer. Thanks, Duty Ron, so much for the super chat. We do need a national rail system. I mean, Amtrak is complete bullshit. Amtrak is complete trash. I mean, wouldn't you think the country that pretty much invented cross-country rail networks, you think we would have bullet trains by now? Like, where are the bullet trains? Where is the political muscle to build these systems that China, that Japan, that Taiwan, that Germany, France, that Spain have? Yeah, I got the afternoon off because I worked in the morning, and I got the afternoon off because it's going to rain. And actually, I would have been starting my second tour right now. It's 12 noon. Amtrak is garbage. You know what annoys me as a mass transit user is that when I put my money into the MTA, only about $1.75 stays in the system. That other dollar out of the $2.75, that goes to fund road projects like repaving the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, or various other road projects that I will never use because, well, I may use it if I ride an Uber or I have a friend drive me around somewhere, but other than that, I'm really not using that infrastructure. Bullet trains would be awesome. It's pretty embarrassing, Phantom, and when you have folks from the Netherlands or Denmark come on my bicycle tours, they're like, these bike lanes are a joke. They could be painted green all you want, but they won't prevent people from parking in them. Right, with the glass card, nice. Yeah, I wish we had more connections. I wish we had more options for, like, let's say me as a person who doesn't own a car. I wish it was more easier for me to take the train from here and go to Chicago or go to Kansas City or go down to Florida. That's tough. It's tough. Of course I've seen that show, Great Railways. I love that show. But it's gonna be a rainy day in a little bit. And yet, well, when I went to the Netherlands for a month, I was never in a car. I was either on a bicycle, walking, or in a train. It was amazing how easily I got around the Netherlands on trains. Planes are good too, but trains are more efficient. Trains are way more efficient. They get you from city center to city center. We need to build better infrastructure in this country. And we need to build infrastructure that doesn't kind of class segregate people. And this is what really happens. People who can't afford a plane ticket or don't own a car, they're kind of stuck where they're living. I'll see you later. Duty Run, have a great day, man. Everyone follow Duty Run if you're not following Duty Run already. Oh yeah, no, never drive to... I tell you one thing. The main thing why I hate the U.S. Open. I hate the U.S. Open because they turn Flushing Meadows Corona Park into a parking lot. And I absolutely hate that. Good to see you, native New Yorker. Welcome. I'll see you later, Duty Run. Everyone follow Duty Run. Do me a favor. Retired New York City police detective. Straight talk, real talk from a retired New York City police detective. You want to give him a follow. Keeping you safe here on the internet. Yeah, from top to bottom, we need a whole new reimagining of our infrastructure, of our transportation networks, because we deserve better. Every human being deserves better. And this will benefit, and the funny thing is that, better infrastructure, more democratized infrastructure that has a place for everyone on the road, makes everyone safer. And wouldn't you want more people on bicycles? If you own a car, that means there'll be less cars on the road. That means there'll be less people looking for parking spaces. So think about it. But here's my chariot. My chariot is now coming in. Right? You can get old drunk all you want, take the train home. But from City Hall here in Lower Manhattan, this is Dutch Moss signing off. I want you to have a fantastic New York Day, whether you live here or not. Hug your loved ones, cherish the moments. And good morning, Mrs. Calabash, and good afternoon, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Whee! There we go. Bye, guys.